The billionaire CEO pulled his baseball cap low and stepped into his own store. Nobody recognized Jackson Thompson. Not the cashiers, not the security guard, not even the manager who was supposed to be running this place. He'd come here undercover for a reason, but nothing could have prepared him for what he heard next. Desperate sobbing echoing from the employee restroom. Through the crack under the door, a silver name badge lay abandoned on wet tile. Maria Santos, custodial staff. The crying inside wasn't just sadness. It was the sound of someone whose world was falling apart. Jackson's blood ran cold. 3 months ago, corporate had received glowing reports about this location. Perfect employee satisfaction scores. 0 complaints. But the woman crying behind that door told a different story entirely. As he stood frozen in the harsh fluorescent light, one terrifying question burned through his mind. If this was happening in his own company, under his own nose, what else had he missed? The truth he was about to uncover would be worse than anything he'd imagined, and it would force him to question everything he thought he knew about leadership, loyalty, and the real cost of looking the other way. What started as a routine visit was about to become the most important 48 hours of his career. Stay with me, because what happens next will change how you see workplace leadership forever. Jackson knocked gently on the restroom door. "Excuse me. Are you okay in there?" The sobbing stopped abruptly. He heard shuffling, then the sound of someone trying to compose themselves. I'm fine. Just give me a minute." But her voice betrayed everything. This wasn't fine. This was a woman on the edge. When Maria Santos finally emerged, Jackson saw a petite Latina woman in her early 40s. Her custodial uniform wrinkled and her eyes red from crying. She quickly bent to retrieve her name badge, but her hands were shaking so badly she could barely grasp it. "I'm sorry," she whispered, not making eye contact. "I shouldn't be. I need to get back to work." Jackson studied her more closely. Maria's hands were cracked and raw from harsh cleaning chemicals. Dark circles shadowed her eyes, the kind that come from working multiple jobs and getting too little sleep. But it was something else that caught his attention. The way she flinched when footsteps approached from the main floor. "You don't look fine," Jackson said softly. "I'm Mike. By the way. Just started here today." Maria glanced up, seeming to assess whether this stranger could be trusted. After a moment, her shoulders sagged with exhaustion. "It's just everything's falling apart," she admitted. "My daughter Sophia needs surgery. Her heart condition is getting worse, and I can't afford." She stopped herself, shaking her head. "I'm sorry. You don't need to hear this. How long have you worked here?" Jackson asked. 3 years. Never missed a day. Never been late. But lately?" She gestured helplessly toward a bulletin board covered in work schedules. Jackson followed her gaze and felt his stomach drop. The schedule was a mess of crossed-out shifts, reduced hours, and handwritten changes. Maria's name appeared sporadically. Sometimes 20 hours one week, 35 the next, then dropped back to 15. No consistency, no way to budget or plan. "They keep cutting my hours," Maria explained, her voice barely audible. "Mr. Miller says it's corporate policy, but I don't understand. The store is always busy. We're always understaffed." Jackson's jaw clenched. He knew the corporate policy on scheduling, and this wasn't it. Full-time employees were guaranteed consistent hours. What he was seeing looked like deliberate manipulation. And when I asked about the health insurance that was supposed to kick in after 90 days, Maria's voice cracked. He said I wasn't eligible because my hours were too irregular.